which are being published. Those book reviews are being written. So you can go to this section and read about different books. And if you want to go for them or read for them, you can order it and then read them to get the best knowledge out of it. So this is our website. So you can visit anytime and get updated always. Dr. Rajesh, is she here? Ma'am, Dr. Rachna is here?
Hello, Dr. Yashika, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here only.
Yes, yes. Dr. Yashika, kindly share your webcam or your screen because I'm not able to see anything on the screen at present.
I'm here only.
Yes, yes. Kindly share your webcam or the screen.
Sure. See if it's visible
Yes,
now.
it is visible now. Yes, it is visible. Okay.
Okay. So shall I begin again? Because I think there
Yeah,
was some
please.
technical issue.
Yes, yes, yes. Kindly briefly summarize the things. Meanwhile, I request another moderator to join us as soon as possible. Dear doctor, sorry for the
Yeah,
technical
maybe.
issue, but now we are starting again.
Sure. Just have a look. I think she has some link problem. Please look into it.
Definitely. You kindly continue. I'll just have a word with her.
Yeah, sure. So, hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar by Homeopathy 360. A warm afternoon to all our esteemed guests and colleagues. Hope you all are safe in this lockdown period. For all of you who's joining us and already joined, I, Dr. Yashika Arora, welcome you all to this session. I'll be the moderator of today's session for all of you. And before we begin, I would like to introduce you to the BGen's online education platform, that is Homeopathy 360, the treasury of knowledge and hidden talents. Knowledge is strength, and we have always aimed to empower the people. Homeopathy 360 is one of the most updated portals for online publication of all kinds of course material for students, practitioners, latest news, upcoming all events all over the country, all over the world, career opportunities, research updates, articles from great classical as well as contemporary practitioners, periodic literature, journals like Homeobuzz, Homeopathic Heritage, videos, presentations, synopses, dissertations, etc. As always, Homeopathy 360 has tried.
Dr. Yashika, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you.
Yeah, tell me, sir.
Your screen is not visible. Can you share your screen again?
I'll be sharing the screen once I finish off the gist, and then I'll tell everyone about the
Okay,
website
so if in
also.
case you maximize your webcam,
Okay, I think it's maximized.
yes, you are appearing very small on this screen.
I'll just check once. Is it fine now, Dr. Rajesh?
Yeah, I'm able to see you. But if in
Okay.
case you maximize the screen, that would be more good.
I'll be screen sharing in a minute, I think.
Kindly
So
do
that's
that,
fine.
Tom.
So that's fine. Yeah. So we try to connect homeopaths worldwide and broadcast their talent, aiming advancement of homeopathy as an evidence-based science. Homeopathy 360 has exceptionally been an education hub for each generation of homeopaths, whether an academician, a clinician, or a researcher. We try to organize every single information related to homeopathy and make it universally accessible on www.homeopathy360.com, making sure that we are the best at what we do. On behalf of our whole team, I also would like to invite all the esteemed homeopaths present with us right now to contribute your knowledge and experiences in the core area of your expertise and visit us at www.homeopathy360.com for the same. So before we begin, I would like to acquaint you with members of our team who will be working behind the scenes while we conduct this webinar. I would like to welcome Dr. Rajesh, who will be with us at the backend system to ensure that the webinar runs smooth. Not testing much of your patience, let me tell you the uniqueness of a webinar lies in reaching one of our learners personally and allowing every learner to raise questions to our speakers and get their answers right away. On your screens, you have a chat box where you can type your questions and send to us by pressing the button next to the box. We also would be running a question answer session in the end of the webinar where you can clarify any of the queries you have. Raise your hand if you want to share and ask your questions. There is an option on the screen, on your screen in the above right corner, upper right corner. So you can raise your hand from there. So without wasting any time, I would like to share my screen and update you with the website. And soon we'll be having the moderator with us. So this is the website, homeopathy360.com, where you can register as an author and visit to any of the things on the website. We have course material available for all subjects, allied as well as homeopathic subjects, presentations on different topics, examination as per the competitive point of view and the BHMS and MD point of view. We have clinical section where we publish contemporary articles, uh, which the case studies, the research papers by different authors, by different stalwarts all over the world. We have journal that is the homeopathic heritage, the peer reviewed journal, and homeobuzz, our online journal. Latest news section, latest event section, latest jobs all over the country, all over the world. Any information which is being related to homeopathy in India, abroad, or any licensing issues, or any government order, or the list of homeopathic colleges. We also have a section of voice for homeopathy, where you can raise any of the issues you want to raise along with us. We'll be supporting you for the for anything which is being done for the upliftment of homeopathy. So this is the front page where we have article section, latest news. You can visit the blog section. We publish blogs on different topics, upcoming videos, any form of book reviews, interviews with great stalwarts, great people, and then we also have an option of submission of articles with us. That you there is a contest being running on Homeopathy 360 right now. That is, if you submit an article, a blog, synopsis, or a presentation or a video, of yours. And if you're a BHMS student, MD student, or medical practitioner, so you will be, if you're selected by the review and the editorial team, you will be provided the cash prize of 300 rupees for blog, 400 rupees for article, and 500 rupees for any presentation, video, or synopsis. So we invite you to share your knowledge with us and contribute to the homeopathy. You can do it when you register as an author here, and then you can submit the article on the right. You have an option given on the left upper corner of the website, that is submission form. And then you can submit the article wherever you want. So this is what it is, our website all about. You can share with us. You can submit the article from here once you do the login. So where whatever doubts, whatever queries you have, you can contact us on webinar@homeopathy360.com and put up your queries if you face any issues. So this is our website, and without wasting any more time, I would like to ask, please proceed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yashika. So it's been a great pleasure for me to speak here in this platform, and I'm very thankful for the whole team to invite me here to speak or to share my ideas about what I have learned through homeopathy. Right. So without wasting much of the time, so my topic today would be about periodic table. So in the beginning, initial years of my practice or beginning years of my study, what question that was in my mind is that materia medica was very difficult to understand, to remember, because it has many symptoms, and there was no means by which I could remember all the symptoms. So in the meanwhile, I came to this understanding, came to the introduction of these authors like John Sholton, Dr. Rajan Shankaran, Dr. Mahesh Gandhi, and they introduced these aspects or these ideas about studying remedies in groups. So I was very fascinated about these ideas, and I started my journey with all these group study and all that, and through which my understanding of materia medica have been deepened, my prescriptions have been better, and my understanding of remedies, wow, is much better. I can remember the remedies in much easier way once I come to all these understanding of remedies. So today I'll be starting with the remedies of periodic table. So let's begin. So this periodic table is comprised of 7 different rows vertically, as you can see on the screen, and it has 18 columns horizontally. So in order to understand, just come with me on a journey of this another world of homeopathy to understand in better way what is meant by this, right? So in order to understand, we have to understand that these 7 rows, the vertical rows of periodic table, have a different kind of, you can say, stories. It's a story of human evolution. You can remember it as we have to understand 7 different books on evolution, 7 different books on human being. So each one of the story, each book have different story to tell, and in that story we have different lessons. This story, this book form, it represents the inner age of the person. So now what is inner age? I will come to it. Just remember that each row in this table have different stories to tell. Many different stories, and all those stories are about human being, the construction of a human being, the way human being perceive things, the way human being understands this world, the way human being have stresses, the way human being understands the whole thing around himself, right? So we will come to know about all these stories. So along with this 7 rows, we have different columns as we go from left to right side. So we can say each row have a different story, a book, and 18 columns are like different chapters of that book. So we can say each book comprises of 18 chapters, and 18 chapters are interlinked with each other, means the issue of all those chapters would be the same, but the way of perceiving that issue differs as we go from left to right in the periodic table. So it's a kind of development in a particular stage. It's like, so we have to understand what is the inner age. So inner age is your innate character. Inner age is what is your inside of it. So it's not like you are growing with age. You could be 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, or 60 years of age, but inside you there is a another age which remains the same altogether. You're born with it. You are uh, upbringing with it. So that's your inner age. So in order to understand this periodic table, we have to understand this inner age of the person. What is he from inside? And it is from that inside we look at the world. It's like the spectacles we have weird on our eyes, and we see the world through that spectacles. And likewise, जो भी आपकी inner age होगी, आप उस inner age से you see the world, and the way you see the world comprises your own story, your own issues in life, your own perceptions, your own reactions to a particular situation, the stresses that you have in your life, your experience, your focus in life, your focus in the world, or your hobbies and interests. They're all according to your inner age. So in this column, or in this particular understanding of the materia medica, you just have to focus on what is the person is inside, how he perceives the world, what is the story, what are the issues of his life. So we can see that each and every person talks about the same thing. Each and every person looks different things in the world. So this is how we have to understand the inner age. So we have 7 different books, 7 different stories to tell, right? So let's come to the first row, which have hydrogen and helium in it. So this row, the inner age of these person is like they have still not born in this world. Although they are present in this world, but their inner age is like that they don't belong to this earth. They are from the other world. So the moment they come into this world with the same inner age that is inside them, and they see this world through the spectacles of as if they don't belong to here. So the moment they come to this world, everything that they look into, it seems very, very strange. It seems that everything that they experience, everything that they look in this world is not them. It's also the feeling that everything, yeah, everybody in this world does not recognize them, does not see them. They cannot see them because they have an experience, they have a perception of themselves is like that, as if they are still not here, they are still not visible to everybody. So they see this world like this. So the moment they see this world, the basic thing that comes to their life is like they are unable to visualize, or they are unable, they are like invisible. So you can see there's a rubric and hydrogen delusion that they are invisible. So these persons, they are stressed by very small things into the world. These are the person who cannot exist in the world. These are the persons who feels that nobody is looking at them. They have a feeling that they are not being valued by anybody. So it's like that their existence is not present in this world, although they are present. सो इनके जो इश्यूज लाइफ के होंगे बहुत छोटे छोटे होंगे. इनके स्ट्रेस क्या होंगे कि nobody is looking at them, nobody is looking at them, and nobody is valuing them. So this is the basic feeling in these rows. The first this column of existence. So their issue, it has to do with conception. They can easily get lost into their inner world. Hence, they are prone to have psychotic breakdowns. Why psychotic breakdowns? Because they are not capable enough to survive in this world. The world for them is a very, very vulnerable space. So there is a very strong desire for unity into the other world from where they have come. So they are very, very religious persons also. So religion for them is not belonging to here. It's the other world. They want to go there into the other world where they can experience unity with everybody. And there's a very strong feeling of non-existence. This is the feeling that hydrogen patients, they will have hydrogen and helium. So it's like they are not yet born, but still are present in this earth. So it's a complete form of they're just energy who has come into this existence. This is the issue of hydrogen and helium would be. So the keywords for these persons will be like a baby without a consciousness. It's a constant material form. It's all about existence. They are existing or not, right? So Then we come to second row. What second row has to tell us is it have remedies like lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and neon. So the inner age for second row personalities would be like they are fetus inside a uterus. Although their age could be any, they could be 15, 16, they could be 20, 30, 40 years of age, but the inner age is like that still, they are still in the uterus, they are still in the womb. So we say that it's the womb stage of these persons. So just imagine what could be the psychology of a person who is still in the womb. So womb for these persons would be a very, very comfortable zone where without any effort, they are getting everything from the mother figure. They are getting anything, everything. Their survival is at stake if they come out of the womb. So they always want to be in the womb. And now, what is a womb? Womb could be anything. Womb could be their own room. So these are the persons who are very, very comfortable in the room and everything is being provided into their room. The womb structure could be like a parent figure or a mother figure who is providing everything that they need, but still they don't want to get away from that structure, from that womb. Why? Because there is inner inability to survive on this world away from the womb. So just imagine the psychology of an infant or a fetus who is just 3 months, 4 months old, and he has come into the earth. So they are unable to survive, but they will not die. But the psychology of the person would be like the fetus has been come into the external world. So what they want from the world is they just need a structure. They just need a comfortable, warm place by which they can connect. They are so attached. So till they're attached to the structure, that person, their room, anything, they are able to survive because they feel there is a feeling of being comfort. But the moment they go away, the structure goes away from them, there is a panic situation, there is a mental breakdown. Right? This is what they experience. So this is what their inner age is. So this age, this row, it represents the process of separation. It's the whole age as we go from left to right, as we go from lithium to fluorine, it's the complete process. So the story of second row people is like they are still in the room. So the whole perception, the whole idea, the whole focus, the whole hobbies and interests, it will be all around this small structure, this small comfortable zone to which in which they are present. It's a very, very strong with them, and they cannot imagine their life beyond this. So the world from for these persons can be still that they are inside something. They are so attached to something. They are just clingy to something. They cannot even survive without the presence of that structure, right? So it that is why this can be compared with the stages of childbirth. So as we go from left to right, we can imagine, we can think over in the beginning of these stages, the first chapter of this book, which is of the fetal age, is like they are still a part of something. They cannot separate from that. And the moment it's going beyond, like in the beryllium, boron, and carbon, it's like now they have grown in the womb, in the uterus. They are capable of surviving in on their own once they are into the oxygen or fluorine side. So there are two main feelings about these rows. One is if they don't have the inner resource to exist on their own. There is also a very, very strong fear of separation from the womb-like structure on which they completely depend for their most primary basic needs: food, clothing, shelter, everything that they need is the main person comfort zone, the uterus, the womb. So that is why the main theme, the common themes is a very, very strong need for protection from the outside world. So they are inside something. So the womb is like a shield for them. They want to be in the womb. Why? Because independent existence outside this womb is very, very scary. They cannot even imagine outside this uterine zone. So the problem, the main troubles that they have in life, or the diseases that they have in life, is going away from this comfort zone. So that is why they have a very, very strong fear of falling and hitting the ground. So groundless feeling represents the disappearance of structure on he is dependent. जिसके ऊपर भी वो बहुत ज्यादा डिपेंडेंट है, he cannot imagine his life without that structure to which he is totally dependent for everything. So it's like descending from the womb's mother's womb. this fear of falling. So that is why they are very, very helpless people, totally at the mercy of situation, cannot go out. And there's a very, very strong feeling of connection and a disconnection. They're very needy people. The slightest stress, they will give them a feeling that the ground is breaking. So there is a very, very strong fairy tales of this magic. So they want again the other world. They don't want to be in this world. They always want to be in a womb-like structure to which they are so much connected, to which they are provided everything. Why? And the moment they think about the new world, the world that we live in, they are very, very frightened. Right? So they have very, very weak ego, or we can say the ego in these person has still not been developed. So that is why the whole world is a very, very vulnerable place for them. Their fears are weak. They can suffer from various psychotic disorders. Why? Because the mind is still not stable. The mind is still not grown. The ego is still not grown. So the moment they go into the world, there is a breakage of the ego. So they cannot handle their unconscious mind. So that is why they go into these psychotic troubles. And interestingly, lithium is a salt which is present in all the allopathic drugs who are prescribed remedies for psychotic breakdowns. So that is why they forcibly keep to try things under control. They forcibly try to be in the womb-like structure. So because of this, they can also go into the diseases like obsessive compulsive neurosis. They may even develop depression, and they even become suicidal. Why? The death again is going away from this world. So the idea is that they cannot survive. They don't have the capacity to survive in this real world. So they just want to go back into the comfort zone, into their own small place to which they are being provided everything. So I've told about this. So I will go further. So lithium is a place. It's like a third month of pregnancy. The state of lithium is like the fetus is just the third 3 months of age, where even the idea of that womb will be away from them. Even the idea is not there. So there is no sign of separation. So that is why these are the people who are totally helpless. Totally helpless. It's like a premature baby who has come out. The 3 months fetus has been come out into the world. Cannot exist. So that is why lithium are the people who are so connected, so attached to the this womb-like structure, to the parent figure or a mother figure, or to anything. It's like so much attached. The moment there is even an idea that they are separated, they cannot handle it. So they go into psychotic breakdowns. So interestingly, if you read Materia Medicas, there is a symptom in the mind, only a single symptom, that is desire to weep on his lonesome condition. Very, very strong. Even it is a remedy for rheumatoid arthritis. So even in the diseases where what they suffer is the basic feel with the diseases is like this disease will so much cripple me as to I will be totally dependent on someone to whom I cannot separate. So this is the idea of their complaints with the other person also. So these are the people who are like this. And the moment we go away, the next point, that is beryllium. So beryllium is like a state where they are, you can say, still in the womb, but they have completed 9 months of pregnancy. So the time has come. So the idea in these people is now the time has come that I have to go away from this womb-like structure. Why? Because the labor process has started. So they get the idea now it's time for me to separate. And this is very, very scary for them. They cannot separate. They cannot even think because the process of separation has occurred. So interestingly, beryllium is a very good remedy for people who cannot adapt to any kind of change. So if they are in a situation in which they are comfortable, they cannot even imagine the moment of the thought that they will be away from the situation brings on scary situation. So we can think about these remedies for ladies who go from their parents' house into their in-laws. So they leave their own home, and their own home is like a womb-like structure to which they go outside into the in-laws and they cannot adapt to that. They go into depression the moment they get married. They go away from their parents' house because in their parents' house they are getting everything what they need. So that is why beryllium is a very strong remedy for social phobias. They cannot face people, because again, facing people is like facing a new situation, going away from the comfort zone of your own self. It's a very good remedy for children who go to the kindergarten for the first time, who go to the playway for the first time. So that even the thought that the baby now have to go out into the other world, into the school, into the in society, into the different zone, they get troubles. So the children who cannot adapt, or they get disease the moment they are away from their home into the kindergarten or the playways, beryllium is the remedy we can think about. So we have again boron. So borax, it's a very good remedy for, we all know about the keynote symptom, and that keynote is fear of downward motion. So the psychology of boron people, the borax people, is like they are now, the process of separation has started. They are going down into the lower birth canal. So this fear that they are going down, down, down brings a fright in them, and they don't want to go to that place. So there is a very strong holding, clinging, as we know all from the materia medica. So borax is clingy, fear of downward motion. Why? Because the idea is that they are in a comfort zone and they don't want to leave the comfort zone. There's a very strong fear of downward motion, which means that they are into the process of separating from the mother figure or the father figure. So they want to cling to it. This is the idea of boron. And then in carbons, it's the descent, it's the engagement. So now it's a time that the baby or the fetus now cannot go back, and he cannot go in the front. So that is always a doubt. So should I go back or should I go out? Why? Because this is a stage where the 9 months have totally completed. It's the process now that the baby is starting to come out. So now it's the effort of the baby that if he brings on some effort, if he shows some reaction, only then he will be able to come out. But the doubt is, confusion is, will I be able to do on my own? Will I be able on my own? क्या मैं कोई भी चीज, क्या मैं खुद कर पाऊंगा कि नहीं कर पाऊंगा, क्या मैं सर्वाइव कर पाऊंगा कि नहीं कर पाऊंगा. So there's two ways, this confusion, this doubt about going ahead or going back. It's very, very strong with carbon group of remedies. So that is why in all the remedies, whether it is graphites, petroleum, so they have a very strong symptom, forgetful in well-known streets. So carbon is a doubt. So as we move forward into the nitrogen, nitrogen state or the psychology of nitrogen people is like they are in the birth canal, which is very, very narrow. So it's a kind of constricted situation. It's a kind of very narrow, suffocating situation. They have to come out. Now they have to push themselves into the outer world. Why? Because if they will remain in this narrow birth canal, they will die. So every situation that they perceive, their family, their group, their zone is like it's choking me. I want to go out. I want to go out. So there is a very strong feeling of uncomfortable in the same place on which the patient is present. And then again, oxygen is like coming out of the womb and taking the first breath. So all the psychology in patients who need a remedy oxygen, there is a very, very strong struggle to survive. Very, very strong. So they are very, very struggling people. And fluorine is like totally cut off from the parent figure or a mother figure. Total connection to lost. They don't want to be under the same place. They want to be on their own, because now they can survive on their own. It's like a situation where the umbilical cord is cut. Right? So let's come to a case. So it's a case of ovarian cyst where the patient's CA 125 level was 87. Her TSH was 9.3. She had painful menses with dark blood and lots of nausea and vomiting during menses. She was thirstless, she was chilly, and the sleep position was on the left side. So her mentals was she wants to be alone. She is not comfortable with father, and she always confronts her father. Right? So even there is stress that he cannot even do any small job. She is so much into her own space. And then she was not telling anything apart from this situation, that she is not comfortable with father. That's it. But she is living in a house. So she had a dream. How entering the case was, she had a dream with big houses with functions. New houses are being built, and I asked her what was the feeling in the dream, and she said, I was frightened in the dreams. So this is very strange. Big houses, functions, but still she is very fearful. So that means this fear is a very strong feature of this person. So I asked her, tell me about your fears. She said, I had fear during my childhood. What was the fear? And she then narrated a story that my parents used to fight. They used to confront with each other. Why? Because my father wanted to marry someone else, and he used to beat my mother. And because of that, I hate my father. I used to suffocate in my room. That there is always a feeling that there is always fight in the room, and I feel suffocated. I want to go out. I don't want to be in the home, right? But where to go? Because I cannot imagine myself going out of the home. अगर मैं बाहर जाऊंगी तो मैं क्या करूंगी मुझे पता ही नहीं है. So although I have to be in the home, at the same time I feel suffocated in the room. But what I can do is I can hate my father. And since then, it's been almost 24 years, she is not talking with her father. She only talks with if there is some need, or if her father talks with her, she just answer it, and that's it. This was the case. So when I reportized the case, I took the rubrics first. I entered to the symptoms, and the symptom that were very peculiar was nausea during menses. They were vomiting during menses, and she was thirstless. I entered these three symptoms, and I came to many remedies. Now, what remedy to prescribe? So I have symptoms all over, but I don't have the idea about which remedy to prescribe. So then I came to the story. What is the story about? So the story of this female is in the house, where she is suffocated in the house. She wants to go out because the house, the problem or the confrontation in the house is suffocating her. She wants to go out, but she cannot go out. So again, this is the story of second row. So what I did was I entered a filter that out of these symptoms, I need remedy from the second row only. Then I came up with ammonium carbo-veg, ammonium carb, graphites, kali carbonica, calcarea carbonica. So I came up with these remedies. So when I studied these remedies, what I came to know was in ammonium carb, I found a symptom that there is a very strong disappointment and resentment towards the father, which is a nitricum. So nitricum was a state where the person is suffocated in that zone. He wants to come out, but again there is a idea that what will I do if I come out, right? And then interestingly, when I read the Materia medica, this physical symptoms, we all know that ammonium carb has a very strong symptom of cholera-like symptoms during menses, nausea during menses, vomiting during menses, and she improved beautifully with ammonium carb. Then another case, a case of anxiety and panic attacks. So what happened is, since lockdown, this patient, he had constant attacks of suffocation with constant retching and anxiety. He was constantly doing, he was constantly doing like this. And this condition used to get aggravated in the evening. And there was lots of palpitation with restlessness. Since 22nd of March, when lockdown was announced, he was having these attacks. He was constantly crying, cannot do anything. And what's the feeling with that is, he said, I can't go out. Why? Because there is danger all over. I cannot go out into this world. What if I catch corona? I'm weak. I can't go out. So I have to hide myself in my own home. This was his state. And the remedies that was given him previously was, he was given arsenic, he was given aconite, argentum nitricum, lachesis, calcarea carb, without any benefit. So what to do was, again, just imagine the story. He cannot go out. Why? Cannot go out because he felt that he is so weak. The moment he will step outside, the outside world will be a very vulnerable place. So he is not fit to go out into the world. So he remained back into his own womb, own structure. But again, there is a doubt. How can I survive in my own home? अंदर भी नहीं रह सकता, बाहर भी नहीं रह सकता. So this was a doubt. So I thought, let's do this again. Let's find out remedy from the second room. So I again took the rubrics. Fear of suffocation, respiratory difficult in the evening, mind anxiety with palpitation, fear of death. Came up with again many remedies. So again I used a filter that I needed only second row remedies from these symptoms. So what I did was I did a filter and I came up with graphites, kali carb, carboveg, and ammonium carb. So we know out of these I need a very strong carbon remedy, right? So when I read carboveg from Bogart, there's a very strong symptom of anxious palpitations, very strong suffocation, very strong fear of death. So he brewed with carboveg. Then there was again a case of drug addiction. Since 5 to 6 months, he was taking a kind of four injections a day, even if not needed. So when try to leave, then anxiety sets in. There's a fear begins inside that something would happen. There's trembling, there is low appetite, nothing to do, just go inside, lose motions. So he cannot left that. So he just take drugs to keep himself alive. There was very low energy level, sleeplessness. Even 10 years back, he used to take smack during the college time, and then he joined a de-addiction center and left everything. But the reason for this taking smack in the college days was just for fun. I was into the bad company. There was no motive and target in my life. I lived my life freely. I always get money from my home, so I don't need anything. I was just enjoying. And then what he said was, I need fun life. I need romantic life, girlfriends. I get very high. I always think out of the box. Means I cannot remain in the box. Means neither I have work nor I am married, but I get everything. So I would just want to enjoy the new world by cutting off myself from my house. So he takes drug to be in the world. And then again, there is no discipline in life. I can't live in any kind of discipline. He just want to spend money, cannot take any responsibility, any relationship, because they bound me. When I asked him about his foundation, he said foundation is by girlfriends. You don't go here, don't go that. So I cannot be in that foundation. I have to go out. I cannot be in that situation. Again, it's a story of second row. I cannot be in this structure. I cannot survive in this structure. So I have to go out by any means. Right? So again, the remedy was clear to me. I took rubrics, responsibility aversion to libertinism, buoyancy, and he was prescribed fluoric acid. So within 10 to 15 days, he left all the addictions. And now he is in US and he's married. So this was a story of second row, that the inner age, the fetal age, is representing the second row. It's a chapter, it's a book of fetal life. So the world is a fetus for them. The inner age for these persons is inner age. So as we go from left to right, so it's like development or developing in the fetus, right? From totally attached to totally separated. Then the third row. So it's the throw. Now the baby is out. The psychology of the person, or the whole story of this book, the world for this book, the third row, is about now the baby is out into the arms of the mother. So the whole story represents this stage, the baby in the home. This is the idea of all the remedies of third row. So what happens in this row is, the whole concept to understand this row is, think about the moment, the first child that is born in the house. What we do with it? We always give a name to it. So the idea about all the remedies of this row is about identity. What is the identity? That now I am separate, but who am I? इसलिए सबसे पहले बच्चे का एक नामकरण करते हैं कि ये बच्चा ये कहला जाएगा, इसका ये नाम रहेगा, इसकी ये फैमिली रहेगी, इसका ये सोसाइटी रहेगी, इसका ये रिलीजन रहेगा. So the inner age of these persons is, or the psychology of these persons is like an infant. He have to express his identity, and the expression of identity is through the individual choice, his demands, his choices, his understanding, what he needs, what are the things that give him pleasure. So this row represents the development of ego in the person. The ego development shows the third row. It's the ability to be independent, right? So it's theme of me and you. मुझे ये चाहिए, मुझे ऐसे करना है, मुझे ये चाहता हूँ, मुझे ये काम करना है, मुझे वो काम करना है. So it's the identity issue that these people have. And the second issue is care and nourishment. So the baby always need care from love from their family. So the whole idea, the world for these persons is family. My mother, my father, my brother, my sister. So that is why relationships becomes a very strong theme in these group of remedies. The remedies that we have in this group is natrum, magnesium, alumina, silicia, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine. So they seek relationship, but what they seek relationship is in that they need relationship, and at the same time they need love and caring from the relationship. They need someone with whom they can understand their ideas, their love, their connection, their joys, their sorrow. And this is different from the second row. Second row need other person, but that need is total attachment, total survival, total dependency on the other person. But here the dependency is for care and nurturing, for love, for support, to be someone with whom he can mix up, to be with someone where he can express his ideas, to be with someone where he can learn language, to be with someone where he can understand the criteria of this world. Because in the family, a person always learns how to behave in the outer world. So it's a beginning. It's a beginning of understanding. It's a beginning of learning the criteria of the world. So loss of care becomes the exciting factor in these people. So that is why the well-known remedy natrum muriaticum is a very strong, good remedy for grief. Why grief? Grief from death of loved ones, grief from disappointed love. So we all have disappointment from relationship in this row. Magnesium, very non-demanding, orphan-like feeling. Nobody loves them, nobody cares them. It's like a complete blind trust. So that is why they make very impulsive and instinctive decisions. कहीं से भी उनको प्यार मिल रहा है, कहीं से भी उनको love मिल रहा है, just get attached to that. Why? Because this is the only person who cares for me, who loves me. So that is why they have very strong short-term obsessions. They need instant gratification. So that is why natrum is a symptom, falling in love with the wrong person. So there is always somebody with whom they can hold their hands. So their focus here is on family and relationship. So what happens is here is, as we go from left to right side in this table, so in the left side there is complete lack of all these things. The patient is still incapable of having care and nourishment of his own. He is incapable of expressing himself. He is incapable of having a trust on anybody. Right? So that is why natrum and magnesium, they cannot express themselves. They need care. They need this love from the other person. Then the sense of right and wrong is also there in this group. So that is why they have also this stubborn and rebellious ideas. Then ability to express the growth. Left side, they don't have any growth. Right side, phosphorus and sulfur, they have good growth. They're tall. Right? So the ability to communicate, developing emotions is very strong in these remedies. So they need someone with whom they can listen to. So as we go from left to right, the natrum, magnesium, they will have a feeling that there is nobody on whom I can depend. There is nobody who can provide me love, care, and nurturing. So that is why I cannot communicate. I cannot express my choices to these people. And on the right side, in the phosphorus, he is very expressive, very sympathetic. So this is the row of emotional development. Emotions develop in this group. right? And they're very, very self-conscious people. Their appearance is very, very important for them. So that is why they become embarrassed very easily. So social image very, very important for these people. So they want to be different. And then in the left side, forsaken, would not express, non-demanding, they follow others, no choice, they are introverted. Right side, sulfur, phosphorus, they express themselves, they are demanding, they follow themselves, they have fixed choices, they are extroverted. So fear revolves around losing the person who is providing them love, care, and nurturing. So they are inquisitive to get familiar with everything. Right? So I'm going forward. All these are rubrics related to these things. Appearance is important. They are very impulsive in decisions. Growth, they have growth affected disorders, whereas natrum, they have disorders of growth, emaciated while eating well, where in the right side, phosphorus grows very fast. Sulfur, very tall, grows very fast. So they have physical problems related to growth, gastric problems related to milk. So milk again is a symbolic of care and nurturing. Most of the remedies, they are having this issue. Alumina is confused about identity. Silesia has very fixed identity. He wants to have good impression of themselves on others. They're very, very conscious, image conscious. They have stage fright. They're very obstinate. So it's a fixity. So this is, we are going from left to right side. So this is the development of a person within the family, from no identity to fixed identity and to exaggerated identity. This is how what they are feeling. So we have a case of allergies. This person, 24 years male, he used to have skin rashes from cold water. There was swelling of face from ice cream. There is constant irritation in the larynx, which excites cough. Perspiration was offensive. I'm just giving you the gist of the case, not the whole case, the important features of the case. He had offensive flatus. So as a nature, as a person, he was very shy, very fearful, but very competitive. He feels inferior when he has to compete, and he has a very strong fear of performing. And what's the fear? What will people think of me? What impression will I have on the people if I say something in the public? And he feels good when praised. He wanted to support family. So he has a very strong fear of flying. So again, the feeling in the dream was that when he was flying and the people are looking at him and they see, wow, ye kya kar raha hai? This was the feeling that he was having. So now again we can see here what are the issues of this person. The issues are about his own image, how he looks in the public, and at the same time he want to have a good image of himself on the other people. टेंशन किस चीज की होती है? टेंशन भी सिर्फ फैमिली को लेके, उसके बाहर का नहीं है. So the issue again tells us that this is the person who is again a family man. फैमिली के साथ साथ एक पोजीशन चाहिए, एक फिक्स्ड इमेज चाहिए. So what I did was I took the rubrics. I took timidity, bashful, fear of failure, perspiration offensive, rectum flatus offensive, cold water drinks aggravates, and dreams of flying. So I came up with these remedies: silesia, sulfur, calcarea, nux vomica, rostox, stramonium. Again, from all these symptoms, the story that this person is having is very, very strongly resembling to silesia. Again, we know from the materia medica that silesia is a remedy for stage fright, a remedy who has a very fixed image of himself. He wants to be known as a specified person, right? So the important feature of silica is his concern, what do others think about him. It's not important what people think of him as a good or nice person, but he's a thought that he should be thought of in a particular manner, in a fixed manner. So it's a fixed, definite opinion that he longs for rather than a good opinion. So he was prescribed silesia. Then another case, case of migraine since 4 years. And this migraine used to get aggravated from mental exertion in the morning, and there was very strong anger from contradiction. He wants to do things or done in his own way. He wanted to do business, but parents forced him to study. उसने business करना था, but parents ने बोला नहीं, तुमने पढ़ना है, पढ़ना है, पढ़ना है, और कुछ नहीं करना. So what he did was, he सप्ली आ गई +2 में. क्यों? Because he wanted to do business. जब सप्ली आई, there was no option. Business करने नहीं जैसे दे रहे घर वाले, and he want to go out. So he went for engineering, but he don't want to do any job. He don't want to be under somebody. And business, I asked her, why do you want to do business? Because I can't be under anybody. My business technique would be like, I want to be like Ambani. And I can define Ambani. What would you do if you become Ambani? He says that everybody knows him. When I will be like him, I will give money to everybody who wants my help. I will just sit in my home, everybody will come, sir, I need so much of money. Okay, you take this money. Okay, somebody else wanted money, you take this thing. I want something else. Okay, you take. So this is what I will do when I will have this amount of money. So again, what he wants is, he wants to have a big image about himself. It's not a fixed image. He wanted to be big, so big that everybody should know him, and he want to do things in his own way. So again, it's a story of expressing one's identity in an exaggerated way. So then again, I took the rubrics: head pain, mental exertion, theorizing, head pain, morning aggravate, head, then mind, anger from contradiction. I had many remedies. I had aurum, lycopodium, sulfur, sepia, silicea, natron carb, stramoni, arsenic, etc. And what I did was, now the symptoms are coming up with these remedies, but the story of the person is something else. The story is showing the story of third row. So I again did a filter that I needed remedy only from the third row of periodic table. So I came up with sulfur. I gave him sulfur 1M and he improved beautifully. And the idea that he will become big, that has gone. Now he is doing engineering properly. He's not thinking about business anymore. Now he knows that I will do job, और मुझे वो आइडिया जो आते हैं कि मैं कुछ ना करूं, बस बिजनेस करना वो ख्यालों में, वो सब खत्म हो गया. Then there was another case of depression, and what was the depression about was, she was having a long distance relationship. It started in college. She was having lots of fights because of this long distance. So what she said was, now my boyfriend no longer loves me. And I said, what is love? Love for her was, love is caring, sharing my ideas. Somebody should be there who understands you, who even understands without even saying anything. That was the definition of love. So she narrated a story about her childhood, that her father was in US and she was brought up without father. And she used to hurt whenever she used to go to her friend's house, because she used to miss her father. सबके father उनके पास होते थे, मेरे father मेरे पास नहीं होते थे. So I asked her, who is a father? She said, father is one who cares, who understands even without saying anything. So I asked myself, love and boyfriend, who is that? So the definition of her boyfriend is the same. Definition for the father is still the same. So what is she needed? She needed care. She needed understanding. She was hot, she was thirstless, and she desires cold drink. So what I did was, again I repertorized ailments from disappointed love, grief, silent grief, thirstlessness, desires, cold drinks. I have many remedies. Again, what is the idea? The story. Story again is the care, love, understanding, nourishment that should be provided by the other person, and that is what she lacks. So again, I took the filter that I needed third row remedies, and the remedies came up with phosphoric acid, natramur, phosphorus, and sulfur. So with this understanding, I prescribed her natrum muriaticum, and she improved beautifully with this. And then again a case of drug addiction. And the drug addiction, the reason behind it was, so now remember, fluoric acid ka jo drug addiction tha, that was just enjoyment, going away from home, just enjoying life. Here the drug addiction was that he was alone in Canada. He wanted to come back, but he cannot come back. And just to get rid of his aloneness, he started with heroin. His job was gone, my bank was gone. So whenever His wife calls from India. He said this, I am in my job, I'm enjoying, I'm doing everything. He cannot say anything to his wife also. His mother got this attack of paralysis, and with that attack again he cannot come back. So the aloneness for him, it felt like that he was locked in jail. He suffocated. I need someone to talk to, but there was nobody with whom I can talk. So I took drug, and I was just in my own area. Since childhood, he never remained alone. I always needed somebody with whom I can share, I can communicate. This was the case. So I took rubrics: alone aggravate, forsaken feeling, delusion that he is alone. I came up with these remedies. But the story of pulsatilla, stramonium, camphor, placum, sepia, it was not matching with the story. The idea that he is totally alone, nobody with whom he can share, nobody with whom he can share his ideas, nobody with whom he can express his understanding. Then what I did was I again took the filter. Third row remedies. Remedy came up with magnesium muriaticum. So we can see magnesium is a very strong theme of being like an orphan, forsaken, alone, totally pacifist. And interestingly, I took the route. I saw Kent repertory, and there's a rubric: delusion that he is friendless. Again, magnesium muriaticum. He improved beautifully with magnesium mur. So now the fourth row. What happens in fourth row is, now this is the row of society. We have remedies like Kali, Kalki, the main remedies: Kalis, calcium, ferrum, cuprum, niculum, gallium, germanium, arsenic. So what is the idea of fourth row is going out from the home, coming out of the home and now going into the society. So the story or the book of fourth row people is the society, the book of society, how he behaves in society, how he lives in society. So in order to live in society, what we need is, we need security, we need money, we need job, we need health, we need proper relationships, not the relationship of home, but relationship in the outside world, in the society. So the security and task is very, very important with these remedies. Your place in society, your norms of society, the religion, the culture, the community, it's all comes in society. But in order to live in society, you should have a good strength, mass. So there's a development of physical strength, development of bones, development of finances, insurance. This is very, very strong with these remedies. So they want security in the terms of health, job, finances, physical development, accumulating mass. There is a very strong fear of poverty, safety. And then in order to have all those things, one must have a proper stamina or endurance to be able to fight against adverse circumstances. Why? Because think about that, you have come out of the home and you have studying in a university in a different city. So you have to have that endurance to be able to live in that different area. So to have to face the pressures. And then fatigue. They have a very strong symptom of fatigue. Why? Because they keep on doing bodily exertion just to get money, 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 accumulating money. जितना पैसा होगा उतना ज़्यादा मेरा social status होगा. जितना ज़्यादा पैसा होगा उतना ज़्यादा मैं safe और secure feel करूँगा. So that is why they have a routine kind of job. They cannot take any risk, these people, and they keep on enduring without this working, and in spite of fatigue. And then there is a very strong theme of pressure and resistance, to bear pressure from the family, from the job, from the outside world. And the opposite, total surrender. So again, we can see here is, as we go from left to right side, Kalis and Kalkarias, they have insecurity, very strong. They cannot have pressure from the outside world. They just want to be with somebody whom they can go. They are provided with money by a shield, so they cannot go out. Again, whether in the middle, the ferrum, they have a very, very strong dominating personality, very strong authoritative personality in the society. They provide security to the other people. And the right side, again, this sense of security, this stamina, this endurance, this money, job, health, it's all again going down. This is the way to understand these remedies. So It's the row of routines, the daily activities, the duties, the rules and regulations. This is also the row of development of superego. So if you do something wrong, you will be punished. So police come into this group of remedies. The crime comes into these group of remedies. So the whole world for these people will be society, away from home and living in the society. So they cannot think away from society. This is what is needed in society, this is what is right in society, and this is what is wrong in society. So you have to live in the society is the theme of all these raw remedies. अगेन लेफ्ट साइड के अंदर ये सब चीजें एब्सेंट होंगी, मिडिल में ये सब प्रेजेंट होंगी, और राइट साइड में अगेन ये सब चीजें लूज होनी स्टार्ट हो जाएंगी. So that is why Calcaria is very greedy. He want to accumulate more and more, whereas arsenic is on the right side. He has the feeling that he is losing, so he becomes avarice. So there's a difference between insecurity of Calcaria and arsenic. Calcaria want to accumulate, सब कुछ मेरे को मिल जाए क्योंकि मेरे पास कुछ नहीं है. आर्सेनिक को फीलिंग होगी कि मेरे पास जो था वो भी सब खत्म होता जा रहा है, सब मेरे से छीनते जा रहे हैं. दैट इज व्हाई आर्सेनिक बिकम्स मोर मिसट्रस्टफुल, ही बिकम्स avarice. So the fear will relate to crime, disease, financial loss, infections. So guilt again is a very strong theme of these rows. Why guilt? Because if I will not do my duty properly, if I not do my job which is being given to me, I will be punished. So that is why responsibility again is a theme of this row. But what kind of responsibility? The theme or the task that has been provided to you. So I have to do the task which I have been provided properly. That is the responsibility. This is we have done Kali's, Manganum, Ferrum, strong-willed, determined, forceful, Cuprum, Zincum. Again, he's going down. He's losing the security. Arsenic again, anxious, insecurity, surrounded by diligence, surrounded by thieves. कि सब जो मेरे पास है वो छीनता जा रहा है, वो सब खत्म होता जा रहा है. So case. So this was a case of female who was 36 years old. Her prolactin level was 76. There was history of pancreatitis, ovarian cyst, partial pancreatectomy, cholecystectomy, and there was a very strong fear of brain tumor. Her stools were frothy. She used to have recurrent diarrheas and she used to take antibiotics every 20-25 days. There was lots of regurgitation of food, lots of eructations which taste like ingesta. Nature was always fearful about her daughter, about her husband. Even if maid is not time, he was very friendly. She was very friendly. She likes to socialize, and she was very concerned about the health and husband and health of husband and daughter. Why? Because she has a very strong feel that if anything happens to the husband, mera kya hoga? I will be not having any financial issues. I have depended upon my husband for all the financial issues. I am so much incapable of going to the bank and do a money transactions. So I totally depend on him. I can't manage anything about my own. So what will I do without him? How will I survive in this world? Who will take care of me? And this brings on diarrhea. And then there is a very strong dreams of dead people. So now think about it. She does not need care, nurturing from her husband. She need the security from her husband, the finance, the money, the ability to socialize with other people. इसलिए मैं अकेली नहीं रह सकती. I need people all the time. So again, the story here is different from the story of third group. Although she needs husband, but husband is here not to provide love, but to provide security. So her childhood was like that. She was never allowed to go out. It was overprotected childhood. She always have to follow the norms of society. Being a female in Indian society, सोसाइटी में ऐसा नहीं करना, वैसा नहीं करना. यू हैव टू लिव अकॉर्डिंग टू द नॉर्म्स. सोसाइटी में ये होना चाहिए, वो होना चाहिए, आपको वैसे करना है. Right? So it was this state. So what I did was, again I took the rubrics: eructations of food, regurgitation of food, trifles from aggravate, stool aggravated from emotional excitement, dreams of dead people. I have these group of remedies. So again I need a remedy from fourth row. Which remedy? Right? So I gave her again. Now think over what side do she belongs to. she have all the thing or she does not have all the thing. Arsenic is like the thing, the security that she has is it is going to be lost. It is going away from her. So that is why arsenic wants to hold on to her security. But here she does not have anything inside. She is totally incapable of handling any finances on her own. So I needed a remedy from left side of periodic table. I prescribed her Kali Kav, and she improved with Kali Kav. Then again a case of recurrent piloneural sinus since 6 months. And the fear was it will get into a big disease. Father had bypass surgery. उसके बाद ये problem start हुई, and she now have to manage finances of the family alone. Why? Because father is not doing job. So because of this, she don't want to get married. She wanted that I want to now support my parents. I want to do all the things. But again, when she started with the job, she said that the principal of my school is very, very strict and disciplined, and I get scared. I cannot go out and handle all the pressure of the school. This was it. So again, there was in my mind that I maybe needed a remedy, not from the right side, but from the left side of periodic table. So because of this environment, I get confused in my work. What if I do something wrong? If I will do something wrong, I may lose my job. I may be asked to do something else, but I cannot do it. So what I do is I always take help from my colleagues. मुझे ये करना है, तो I ask all my colleagues कि मैं ऐसे कर लूँगी ठीक रहेगा, ये मैं ऐसे कर लूँगी ठीक रहेगा. So again, this is showing that she is not a strong-willed personality. Again, she belongs to somewhere on the left side of periodic table. She desired solidity, she was chilly, her sleep position was right side, her perspiration was profuse. So what I did was, again, I needed a remedy from the fourth row which have all these symptoms. What are the symptoms? Ailments from anxiety, anxiety about future, fear of incurable disease, irresolution, indecision, and then generalities, suppurations, and recurrent abscesses. So out of all these, I needed a remedy which came out to be again arsenic is right side, that I am losing all the things that I have, but calcaria is I don't have anything, so I have to struggle in order to get all the things that I need. So again, she was prescribed calcaria Cup 1, and she improved with this remedy. Dr. Rajesh, is there any questions that are coming, or it is all right? Dr. Yashika, Dr.
Yeah, Dr. Sir, Dr. Harpreet sir, it's going very fine, and I believe that our audience is enjoying the web. We have lots of queries, but I feel we should have that in the end of
Okay,
of
I'll
your
answer all
webinar.
those.
So, if in case you have the content, I request you to
Okay,
continue.
fine. So there was another case of schizophrenia. So this was a 62 years of male. I was to do the house visit of this person. So what happened was, the moment I entered his house and I entered his room, the first thing I saw was कि एक side पे there was long, big sticks. At other corner of the room, there was this, what we call it, this sword type thing. And then under his pillow, there was a revolver. And I was just like, I get scared, कि what is happening. So what his tell was, मैं कहा कि अंकल आप बताइए कि क्या हुआ, आपको क्या हो रहा है. He said, shh, आपको मालूम है. He said just in Hindi. He said, आपको मालूम है हमारे फ्लैट के पीछे स्कूल है और उस स्कूल के नीचे बहुत से एलियंस हैं. एक तहखाना है जिसमें बहुत से लोग हैं. And you know what these people are doing? मैं कहा what? That these people are putting laser on me. So if they put laser on my chest, I get chest pain. If they put laser on my stomach, I get diarrhea. If they put laser on my lower abdomen, I get the urge to pass urine. If they get laser on my head, I have headache. This is what he said. And then I said, why they are doing this to you? He said that I was a principal of the institute, and being the principal of the institute, I punished very strongly to many college students, and because of maybe somebody of them, they want to have Mr. Badla lena chahte hain. and they want to kill my children. So I have to protect everything. I have to protect myself. I have to protect my security, my property. I have to protect my belongings. This is what. इतने में क्या हुआ कि बाहर से कोई भी कार, कोई भी vehicle जाता था, he used to stand up and he used to take whatever comes in his hand. He used to just run outside. कौन है, कौन है, कौन है? This is what he was constantly doing. And being the principal of the institute, the family was not willing to this. किसी को बताना नहीं चाहते थे कि इनको ये प्रॉब्लम आ रही है. So I was a family friend of them, and that is why they called me up. So this was the whole scenario. This he was doing constantly. He was not sleeping. Even if he was sleeping, just after 1 hour of sleep, he was just wake up and we'll go outside just to see whoever is there. This was the case. Very critical. So his basic thing was, I have to protect. I am the only elder person in this family and have to protect everybody. This was the case. So somehow there was no repertory. I was not able to find symptoms. So just on the basis of thematic thing, I just ask myself what I needed from this person. What remedy should I need? So first thing that came to my mind was there is a threat from the outside world. What kinds of threat? Threat is from the society. Threat that he has done something in the past to which now he is paying price. So I thought he is fighting, which means he's not a very weak-willed personality. He's a strong-willed personality. So I needed a remedy somewhere from the middle of the periodic table, from the fourth row, because again this fourth row has to do with security, the threat to the security, and he is fighting it back. So what I did was I started all the remedies which are in the middle, like for example the Nicolam met, Cuprum met, Zincum met, and what came up was this Cuprum met has a very strong feeling of being attacked from the outside world. I prescribed him Cuprum aceticum on the basis of Materia medica, without repertory, just on the thematic basis of the understanding of the patient, that where the patient is in the moment. He was talking about society, he was talking about threat from the society, and he need to secure his own position. And when I read Cuprum aceticum from Morrison, there was this state. As all the Cuprum salts, Cuprum aceticum has the theme of fighting, of battle and war. Like Shankaran has observed in Cuprum, a very strong interest in martial arts. So in addition, the patient has a strong desire to perform well and to achieve and to lead others. So there is a very strong sense of threat from the outside, can be very strong, and is counteracted by an equally strong desire to attack. So this was the exact state of this patient. The biting, the striking, and these typical Cuprum characteristics appear intensely in the active phase of Cuprum aceticum. So that is why I prescribe Cuprum aceticum instead of Cuprum metallicum, on the basis of this theme, just understanding the psychology of the person, understanding the patient in his internal state, and it improved beautifully. So this was Cuprum, right? So again, now the fifth row. What is this row about? So fifth row, it has remedies like rubidium, strontium, yttrium, zirconium, argentum, palladium, antimony, iodum. So now what are the themes or the story or the book or the title of the book of this row? So now again, this is again away from society. So what happens in this row is, if you understand, want to understand the main theme of these row, that is creativity. What is creativity? Creativity is to create something new, to create something altogether a different thing. So they want to create, to make valuable contribution to the culture, to the society, which means now they are going out or going above the society. There is a very strong search for inspiration in dreams, in fantasies. So there's a very strong search for knowledge and to investigate the things. They have a very strong scientific mind. They're very experimental people. They're very inquisitive. So now here, again, there's a difference between this and the third row. Even third row wants to have a good impression of themselves or other people. But in the fifth row, it's not the good impression. It is now knowing their own worth, to do something different from society, to do something what all the people are doing, to go away from routine. Routine से हटके कुछ नया करना है, going out of the routine. They want to explore things, but they want to perform. So the performance in these people is like think smart, not the routine. Like just the image that is shown in this thing. So the creativity, the performance, they are very, very strong with the remedies of these row. So the performance is like looking for special talent, looking for something different which is unique in everybody. So they hate routine jobs. There is a very, very strong search for knowledge. But what kind of knowledge? Knowledge जो सबसे अलग हो, सबसे different. Knowledge जो अपने आप में ही एक बहुत strong हो. So in order to have that performance, you should have a skill. So these are the people who always have looking for skills. So the storybook or the idea about remedies from this row is like creativity, performance, about wanting to be different from everybody, to have a special skill, special talent. और वो special skill, वो special talent कहाँ से आता है? Passion से. So the passion is a very, very strong word for these people. And passion with hard work, with practice. So it's a kind special form of art which only they possess. It's like finding a solution to a problem. It's a kind of research work. It's a kind of investigate. It's a kind of discovering something new. So this is the main theme of these rows. So it's like an art. It's to face something and to create something new, which is completely different. It's just like a story of Amir Khan in Three Idiots. You have to run behind excellence, and that then success will follow. It also the story of some homeopaths who does not do one kind of practice, but learning new tools every day just to improve oneself, to treat people in a very holistic way. So all the homeopaths, the greatest homeopaths of this world, they may come to this row. Why? Because art के साथ साथ profession, they are very professional people. With passion, with skill, with wanting to be different, with passion, with intense practice, intense hard work, they become professional. So much so professional and focused that only they can do that thing. It's like being a specialized in a particular thing. So being specialized is very important. Focusing only on one thing. I have to do it. I have to do it. I have to do it. Like Arjun, who can only see the bird of the eye. So they are very passionate about their work. It's a special talent that is achieved through practice. Like for whoever achieves highest fame in their field, like doctors, scientists, actors, singers, artists, sports person, जो बहुत पीक पे जाते हैं, just try to look into their story. उन लोग की स्टोरी आपको यही मिलेगी. They are very passionate people. उनको दिमाग में सिर्फ एक ही चीज, लाइक एक पागलपन सवार होता है कि मुझे यही करना है, यही करना है, यही करना है, और वो हार्ड वर्क करते 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 एक लेवल पे पहुंचते हैं यहाँ तक वो कोई और नहीं पहुंच सकता. लाइक सचिन तेंदुलकर, धोनी. So they like adventure, risk taking, because there is a strong urge to learn. So they strategize, they expertise, they discover, they invent. Again, there is a very strong need for appreciation in these people. Why? Appreciating their talent. So this appreciation was again in the third row, and it was present in this row also. So the third row people, they just want appreciation, that everybody is saying that this is a good doctor or a good engineer or a good businessman. But fifth row people, what they need is they want to be judged by the professionals. It's like if you go into the if you are a singer और आप sing कर रहे हो और आपके सामने जितनी audiences हैं, those audiences are just the layman जिनको music के बारे में कुछ नहीं पता, and they are saying वाह क्या गाया, वाह क्या गाया. It's like you are playing in a street, और जितने भी आसपास देख रहे हैं जिनको खेलना नहीं आता, क्रिकेट खेलना नहीं आता, and they are saying यार तो बहुत अच्छा खेलता है क्रिकेट. That is the third row. But here is, if you want to sing, you should be singing in front of Lata Mangeshkar, Asha Bhosle, Sonu Nigam. If you are playing cricket, you are playing in front of Sachin Tendulkar, Kapil Dev. This is the idea of fifth row. Again, what happens in this row is in the left side, they don't have this creative. It's just in the mind. They're not creative, but although they want to be creative, it's just like a newcomer who enters the arena of top sports. Means who don't know how to bowl is playing with Sachin Tendulkar's extreme left. In the right side, again the second column, strontium is like bowling to Sachin Tendulkar needs a special coach. So they want to have a structure. They want to be dependent on somebody with whom they can learn the technique of this creativity, this skill, this professionalism. So they need encouragement and support from an experienced person through whom they can express their creativity. And that is why they have a very strong the symptoms of weak ankles, swelling of ankles, etc. So going forward into the palladium, it's in the 10th column, it's the middle, which means they have all the things. There's a very strong longing for good opinion of others because there's the idea that they have that theme of performance, they have that skill, they have that professionalism in that. They know that they are best and they want to hear that they are best. So that is why palladium is a very strong desire for flattery from the other people. And then argentum, again, it's need to maintain creativity. It's in the 11th column of periodic table. So there's a very strong need to be creative. It's like their performance, their creativity now is going down. वो धीरे धीरे नीचे आनी शुरू हो रही है, वो खत्म होती जा रही है. अगर वो खत्म होती जा रही है तो अंदर से एक प्रेशर फील करेंगे. I have to perform, I have to perform, I have to perform. So that is why there is a very strong anticipatory anxiety between I'm a great performer and I cannot perform. So that is why argentum nitricum metallicum is a very good remedy for hoarseness of प्रोफेशनल सिंगर्स. सो इनके लिए जो भी प्रोफेशन, जो भी इनका ऑर्गन, जो भी सिस्टम उस प्रोफेशन में ज्यादा वर्क कर रहा है, इनकी डिजीज वहीं पर आएगी. दिस इज द आइडिया ऑफ argentums. Whereas in third row, it's just the impression. I'm good at this. I can sing good, and every people is saying that he's a good singer. But for argentum, good singer means if it has been told by some professional like Lata Mangeshkar, Asha Bhosle. This is argentum. We are not going into this. Again, the case. So this was the case of a female with cholecystitis. She was 8 years of female, and with this she was having vomiting of yellow bitter matter, and this thing used to get aggravated by stress. She was constipated. She passes stool once in every 3 to 4 days. She used to have travel sickness, vomiting while riding, eructations, very strong, very intense when she is stressed. And with that, there is bad odor from mouth during constipation. कि वो 4 दिन जब तक वो stool pass नहीं करती, she used to have bad odor from mouth. जैसे stool pass होता है, offensive breath ठीक हो जाती है. So now her nature was I can't be in daily routine. This is the idea. Now just think, मुझे routine नहीं पसंद. I want to experience new things like adventure, following my heart, to be known by people. Not routine, but something special. I want creative work. Like now, she was a college student and she was running whole digital marketing. She was not attending college, but she was doing her own business to be different from everybody. I cannot be like every student. I'm something different, and I'm just following my passion. People should always remember through your work, whatever you're doing, not the routine, but the different kind of work. This is her idea. I'm a very authoritative person. I want to be the best in my work, whatever I do, but nobody should be able to do. The work should be one of its kind. I dare to be different. But again, she was not able to do that. She was always in search of some people, some team through which she can just propagate her ideas. So for this, he always taking suggestions from colleagues, from the internet, from the other people, from the father, from some other people who were into digital marketing. She was not doing that alone. So this was again give me a hint that this is a person of creativity, but without that strong will. I can think about that. She need a remedy from left side, but ये मुझे बाद में समझ में आया. At first I took the rubrics: ambitious, offensive odor, mouth from during constipation, irritation, emotional excitement, aggravate. I gave her Nux vomica, I gave her Oromet, I gave her specific remedy carbolic acid for this. No improvement, right? Then what I did was, okay, now this is a very strong theme of left side of this fifth row. I needed a remedy from this row. So what I did was I studied strontium carb. Again, the thematic prescription. So the strontium represents the age of adolescence. This is the age when one ventures out into new with the full knowledge that is one is faced with a problem, one could always come back. When strontium looks for is guidance, that is an experienced person help to charge out the unknown, someone to rely on if there is a problem. So this is exactly what she was doing. She was doing some creative work, but for that work she needed somebody who can support her in that work. Right? So it's like new tasks like learning to drive a car or starting a profession. They're anxious for moments, and she needed encouragement and support of an experienced person. So this exactly what she was doing. She was prescribed strontium carb with great success. Then again a case of prostatic hypertrophy, long time back. So this was a very interesting case when I come to know about perception. So whatever I asked her, he used to always say Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. राइट हर काम में. मैं अपने बारे में थोड़ा बताऊं, मैं क्या बताऊं, बस वो कृष्णा का दिया सब है सारा कुछ. कोई टेंशन होती है, कृष्णा के होते क्या टेंशन हो सकती है, हर चीज में कृष्णा 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 was coming. So at the end when I didn't understood anything from the case, I asked him, मैं कहा who is Krishna, can you tell me? And the answer, it was just astonished me. His answer was, Krishna is the greatest wrestler I have ever known in my life. What is that? Krishna and a wrestler? I didn't understand that. Then who is a wrestler? And he said wrestler is a person who has a solution to every problem. Means with new techniques, with new skill, one is able to overcome any situation. So without even taking up anything in his hand, he fought Mahabharata. क्या आप सोच सकते हो कि बिना हथियार उठाए उसने पूरी की पूरी महाभारत जीत ली. कैसे जीत ली? Just by strategy, just by thinking out of the box, just by being different, just by being out of the routine, and he did that. So on this basis, I prescribed this person argentum nitricum, and he improved beautifully with argentum. So then the sixth row. What happens in sixth row? Now this is the row again which goes beyond fifth, जिसे बोलते हैं king series. So the whole idea of this row is leadership. They want to lead everybody. These are the people who want to ahead of everybody and वो सबको संभालना जो उनके पीछे आ रहे हैं. These are the people who make rules, who make authority, who make changes in the world. This is leadership. But it's like a king. It's like a head of the organization, of the society, of the culture. It could also be of the family. They are the creators of society, community. They lead groups, they lead organizations, they lead culture, country. They're very influential people. They set directions for others. They're involved in larger structure of society, not the small things. So in order to have that leadership, there must be power. अगर आपको लीडर बनना है, आपके अंदर पावर होनी जरूरी है. Without power, you can't be a leader. So these are the people who have authority. They are the one who make rules for the society. They rule over others. They have a very strong ego and pride. They have a very strong supremacy over others. They have वो कब होगा? When they have the ability to withstand high pressure. जितना मर्जी pressure सामने से आ जाए, they have the ability to stand against that pressure. They have a strong this energy to go against the wind. Only then you will be a leader. And then, in order to have that leadership, you have responsibility. So with power comes responsibility. So they are responsible for security of the family. They are responsible for security of the society, for employees, for the country. Just like the head of a country, like the prime minister or the president. So they carry the burden not of themselves, but their whole fellow beings, the society, the religion, the country. It's like standing on their own feet. So here, responsibility of sixth row is very different from the responsibility of fourth row. Fourth responsibility is like you are being provided a task, you have been provided a job, and you have to fulfill that task. That is the responsibility of fourth row. Like the policemen, the soldiers, the order have been given by the commissioner of police, by the general of the army, and then they have to execute the ideas or the work that they have been provided. That's the responsibility of fourth row. But for sixth row, the responsibility is taking in responsibility, following the making the rules, and then giving those rules to the society. So they are the head of the society. So with that, there is a very tremendous pressure, not the small pressure. Like for example, थर्ड रो को प्रेशर किस चीज का होगा, रिलेशनशिप का, इमोशंस का, उसने मुझे इग्नोर कर दिया, उसने मुझे पूछा नहीं, उसने मुझे बुलाया नहीं, मुझे प्यार नहीं करता, स्मॉल स्मॉल थिंग्स. फोर्थ रो के प्रेशर किस चीज का होगा, जॉब का, मनी का, हेल्थ का, सिक्योरिटी का. ये प्रेशर फील करेंगे. सेकंड रो प्रेशर किस चीज का फील करेगा कि मैं जो इस प्लेस के अंदर हूँ, कहीं मैं बाहर तो नहीं चले जाऊंगा यहाँ से, कुछ ऐसा तो नहीं हो जाएगा जिसपे मैं डिपेंडेंट हूँ, जो स्ट्रक्चर जो मेरे साथ में है वो मुझे छोड़ के चला जाए. सो बट विद फिफ्थ रो को प्रेशर किस चीज का होगा, प्रेशर अबाउट फॉलोइंग हिज ओन हार्ट, प्रेशर अबाउट कि मैं कर पाऊंगा प्रॉपर जो काम कर रहा हूँ, पैशन फॉलो किया नहीं कर पाऊंगा. बट द सिक्स्थ रो प्रेशर इज प्रेशर ऑफ द होल वर्ल्ड, not the small pressure. So they carry the burden of society, the country, the whole community is dependent on them. So they have the courage to handle adversities. So focus is on problems. It's like me versus the world. Fifth row is me versus my profession. Fourth row is me versus society. Third row is me versus family. Second row is me versus my structure to whom I am dependent. But if this our leadership it goes wrong, it takes the charge of dictatorialness. So the love of power makes them dictatorial. When they start abusing their position of power, when taken too far, then they consider everybody their enemy, as seen in Mercury. So the rules that they make must be followed at any cost. That is the dictatorship of these remedies. So because of this, these are the people who also go in isolation. Why? Because they feel separate from ordinary people. Just think about कि अगर डॉक्टर मिस्टर मोदी को हम इजीली नहीं मिल सकते, अंबानी को इजीली नहीं मिल सकते. So these people, they are so separated from society, from other people, they are isolated. So there is no contact with the society, no contact with the ordinary people. So it's like lonely at the top. So in the beginning, in the left side remedies, again, they don't have the power to stand for himself, to take responsibilities. To be a leader is just a thought. It's just like a newcomer in search of power. That is cesium. And Baraita, as we all know, he's very immature and childish in handling responsibilities. So there's a lack of power and leadership. So they feel very small amongst big leaders. So they become the object of ridicule. It may be the situation of Rahul Gandhi. So just think, Rahul Gandhi, leadership में आ तो गया, but think what is his position in all the big leaders? He's just like a child. So this is their theme. But in the middle, जब हम जाएंगे, especially at Platina, it's the 10th column. Very dictatorial, very haughty, very contemptuous, very high superiority with high sexuality. So they are the natural leaders. And then Aurum, it's in the 11th column. It means their sense of position, their high responsibility, their power is now going down. So they are unable to handle those responsibilities, but they try to maintain their position of leadership, their handling responsibilities. That is why they have very, very high responsibility. They are driven to perform duty. So they take tremendous pressure, and inability to maintain those tremendous pressure or to maintain their responsibility, their duty means failure and death. So they have very strong suicidal impulses and destructive diseases. And then Mercury, again, it's going down, means now my position of leader, my powerful position, my responsible position is now anytime be taken away from me. So that is why they consider everybody their enemy. So that is why it has a very strong symptom of delusion, surrounded by enemies. He feels that everybody is an enemy who want to take his position of power and leadership. So in order to maintain that, they become very, very dictatorial. Thallium, plumbum again, the position of leader or the power. Now it has it going, it's being lost. It's like losing the capacity to handle leadership, power and responsibility. So power only is now a show. So they feign that they have some power, but inside they don't have anything. So that is why they have very strong degenerative conditions. They have very strong fear of assassination. So case, a lady, she came to me with constant headaches from last September, almost 5 to 4 5 months, constant, लगातार रोज headache. And her story was in 2009 to 5 years, 2009 से लेके 2014 तक she was in depression due to some family problems, and she used to take sleeping pills. So it was so strong that she was even sleepless even with after sleeping pills. So she had very low energy, very tired. Her story was that her husband was living abroad and she was living alone. एनी शायद मेरा बिहेवियर शुरू से प्रिटेंडिंग रहा है, अपनी प्रॉब्लम के बारे में मैंने किसी से बात नहीं कर पाती, किसी से बताया भी नहीं आज तक. सो माय नेचर इज टू प्रिटेंड दैट एवरीथिंग इज ओके. सो हर स्टोरी वाज इन 2015 her brother was not well, so she used to manage everything. ब्रदर की फैमिली, अपनी फैमिली, दोनों को मैनेज करना. तो हमेशा ब्रदर के पास रहते थे. शी टुक केयर ऑफ हिम, जैसे किसी बच्चे का ख्याल रखते हैं. एंड देन सडनली द ब्रदर एक्सपायर्ड. उसके बाद क्या हुआ? आई हैड टू स्टे स्ट्रॉन्ग. व्हाई? बिकॉज मुझे अपनी मदर को संभालना है, अपनी भाभी को संभालना है, ब्रदर के बच्चे को संभालना है, सबको संभालना है. तो उनको संभालने के चक्कर में मैं अपनी फीलिंग्स ही शो नहीं करती थी किसी को. मैं कार लेके जाती थी और लाउड म्यूजिक लगा के आई यूज्ड टू श्रीक एंड क्राई अ लॉट. राइट. आई मैरिड इन 2017. तब शुरू में 6-7 मंथ सब ठीक अच्छा रहा. वी वर प्लानिंग फॉर अ बेबी, बट माय हस्बैंड वाज नॉट इंटरेस्टेड, बट आई वाज इंटरेस्टेड. बट आफ्टर मैरिज 2 महीने बाद माय फादर डाइड, एंड देन अगेन आई वाज देयर टू सपोर्ट एवरीबडी, टू टेक केयर ऑफ ऑल द पीपल अराउंड मी. मेरे दिमाग में सोसाइटी के थॉट्स आने शुरू हुए. आई हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ माय मदर, माय भाभी. आई हैव टू बी स्ट्रांग. आई हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ ऑल ऑफ देम. एंड देन शी नरेटेड कि 2009 में जब 5 साल डिप्रेशन रहा, तब डिप्रेशन क्या था कि उनकी मैरिज होनी थी. ऑन द डे ऑफ मैरिज उसको पता चला कि जिसे मैरिज होने वाली है ही वाज हैविंग पोलियो. एंड देन जब वो हुआ, पता लगा, इन्होंने थोड़ा सा उनसे लड़ाई करने की कोशिश, बोला कि ऐसे ऐसे ऐसे. द पर्सन ही टुक दिस पॉइजन. उसकी वजह से इनके ऊपर केस हो गया. एंड अगेन she alone had to handle all the case. So she said being strong was the only option for me. But usse pehle she was into the marketing field. She was very ambitious. She was handling all the this business alone. So this was her story. What I did was, again, I gave her Oromure. Why? There was a very strong grief, ailments from grief, silent grief. She was very ambitious and very strong sense of responsibility. But now the story is not about family, but to take care of everybody around him. The sense of pressure is tremendous. It's even more than the third row or the fourth. So because of this tremendous pressure, I gave a combination of sixth and the third. I gave her Aurum Mu 200, and yesterday only I asked her to give me a follow-up, and she said, before meeting Dr. Harpreet, my life was full of headaches, sleeplessness, and sad. But after meeting him, life changed. I started feeling good. And headaches are almost not as frequent as earlier. They're very, very less in intensity. Then there was another case of multiple sclerosis since 2002. This was the lady who was totally bedridden when I saw her. Totally bedridden. It started with diplopia. There was incoordination of limbs. Off and on, there was incontinence of urine. It used to alternate with obstructed urination. So her story was, she had pancreatitis in childhood. There was partial pancreatectomy done. And then as a person, she was very ambitious. She was teaching in this Rajan International School. She was at a very high position. She was dominating. She always wanted to be ahead, right? In the family also, and in her friend circle also. But since her disease, what happened was her administrative post was given to somebody else. She wanted to be in the top position, she wanted to lead, but she cannot lead. So she felt helpless in that situation. She cannot tolerate contradiction. It was a loss to my position. I was in a very authoritative position, dictatorial position, but everything was taken away from me. So though people who don't know anything has taken over me. So it's like lost respect and power at home and also at my workplace. So it's all the losing the power. So what I did was, again, this is the understanding. At one side there were symptoms, and the other side there was a theme, a story, or the basic issues of the person's life. So I need symptoms which have a particular theme of sixth row. Like, for example, the symptoms of the case were slow, gradual paralysis, incoordination, diplopia, helpless, egoistic, cannot tolerate contradiction. There was responsibility, power losing, lost position, high position, leadership, all those things. And then the remedy that came out, the sixth row was plumbum mat. Again, the losing of the power, the losing of leadership quality, the losing of the respect, the administrative job. So with plumber mat, she improved beautifully. I have the follow up, I think video follow up. If you can listen to that.
हाँ जी रुचि बताओ since starting your treatment what changes have you felt within yourself?
I have seen a lots of big changes in me. एक्चुअली स्टार्टिंग में ऐसा था कि 4 years जब मुझे MS हुआ था 2004 में डायग्नोज, उसके 4 years के बाद मैं चलती रही थी. फिर एकदम से 2006 में मैं चलना बंद हो गई थी. मतलब पहले उससे पहले टीच कर रही थी, तो जैसे ही मैं घर आके बैठी हूँ तो एकदम से चलना बंद हो गई. तो तब से मैं होम्योपैथी मेडिसिन ले रही हूँ और एलोपैथिक ले रही हूँ. तो और तो कोई मेरे को इंजेक्शन वगैरह कुछ भी नहीं लग रहा. सिर्फ होम्योपैथी मेडिसिन लेती रही हूँ. मैंने पूरे साल में कंटिन्यू अब तक रखी है. मैंने बिल्कुल भी बंद नहीं की. इतने साल से मैं लेती रही. और अभी
क्या क्या चेंजेस आपको लगे जब से आपने मेडिसिन स्टार्ट करी है होम्योपैथी वाली?
मैं चलना शुरू हो गई हूँ. पहले टोटली बेड रिडन थी. तो एकदम से ये है कि अपने आप में इम्प्रूवमेंट देख रही हूँ मैं सारी, कि धीरे धीरे हर सिम्टम. आइज़ का प्रॉब्लम जो है वो अभी है. तो मतलब चलने का मेन इसमें हुआ है कि चल नहीं पाती थी. अब मैं सपोर्ट के साथ चल लेती हूँ. मतलब घर में तो हैंड की भी ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती मुझे.
तो एक आपके राइट हैंड में प्रॉब्लम होती थी ना कि राइट हैंड भी आपका यूज़ नहीं होता
पहले
था?
बहुत शिवरिंग होती थी मेरे हेड की और मेरे हैंड की. अब नहीं होती. अब बिल्कुल भी नहीं होती.
ठीक है. आपको यूरिन की प्रॉब्लम भी बीच में आ रही थी उसको?
यूरिन का भी मेरे को ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती बहुत टाइम. जैसे मैं क्या चल रही हूँ, मैं सिर्फ घर के अंदर, बाहर नहीं चल रही अभी तक मैं. क्योंकि घर के अंदर मतलब बाहर मैं हाथ पकड़ के चलती हूँ. व्हील चेयर.
So now she has started walking and she was totally bedridden before. So this was the case. So what we can do is we have again the information in the case. After case taking, we have many symptoms, and at the same time we have a story. So when we see the combination or the combination of both the things, the symptoms and the story, and if we combine both the things, we can come up with a very strong sensation or a strong center of the remedy, which can prove to be a good remedy for that. And how I did was, this could be done by any of the software that you can have. Like for example, Dr. Rajesh, if you are here, can you please show them through any repertory that how they can go with the series and how they can express these things? They can find a particular row or
Yeah, of
case.
course, of course, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. Dr. Harpreet sir, thank you so much. First of all, your session is going great, and the contents which you have shared to the audience is remarkable. So, dear audience, in order to guide you further, if in case you want to take the advantage of the technology, then I'm sharing my screen, and you believe that on the screen, I'm using this radar software, and in this we have in colorful maps, especially in relation to the periodic chart. So I'm going for this John Sholton element chart, and over there you can make use of this chart in order to understand the characteristic of columns, rows, or any individual particular element. So you can see, if in case you want to have the look at the Argentum series, so the themes is mentioned in this way, and below the element we have the information regarding the characteristic of that particular element. Even you can read out in stage wise, like if in case you missed during the webinar that what first stage is standing for or second stage is standing for. So you can see we have the characteristic of the first stage till the stage of 9. So you can easily read all these things. We have the literature also of Dr. John Sholton. So accordingly, you can make use of the charts. And even if in case you want to know that for a particular group, what would be the possible remedies in the analysis, so you just directly go to any column and just click on that. Like I want to see for carbon series, I click on that, and you can directly restrict the analysis in the repertorization sheet in this way. So you can easily filter the things as per the columns and rows, and can easily understand that what remedies are available for that particular case. So Dr. Harpreet, I believe this may help the audience if in case they want to use the radar software or want to take the
Yes, yes,
advantage
yes.
of the
Definitely,
technology.
definitely. We can do with any software for that. But the idea is we have to go with the symptoms first. And along with the symptoms, there is also a parallel story that is running with all the case, all the state. And we have to understand that story. And the story would be how the world is perceived to the patient. कि जिस तरह से पेशेंट वो वर्ल्ड को देखते हैं किसी भी चीज को देखने का जो नजरिया होगा that is the story of the patient and that is what needs to be treated. And if we combine the symptoms and the story, the prescription would be much easier, and the understanding of remedy or the case would be much easier. So I think this is all for today. We can go for the question answers if they have.
Yes,
I am also writing
yes,
my email ID. If they have any query, they can.
yes,
Uh,
yes, yes.
Sir, hello, sir. There were few queries
yes.
which I have noted down. Shall I
Uh-huh.
tell?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
First question was, somebody is saying ki the case in which you've used Aurum as the second remedy. He's
Mm-hmm.
asking for the Aurum you have used. He's asking what was the second remedy used. You said you gave a mixture of remedies.
It was a mixture. It was Aurum Mure. I didn't prescribe Aurum Met,
Or
but I prescribed
Aurum
Aurum Mure.
natronatum.
No,
Okay.
only Aurum Mure, not Netronatum. So what
Okay.
happened was there was a very strong sense of responsibility in the person's life, very high responsibility, very strong pressure from the outside world. At the same time, she was doing. She was doing all the things for her family. So here we can see two things: responsibility, at the same time very strong theme of supporting the family. So that is why I took the combination of sixth row and the third row, and I gave Aurum muraticum. This was
Okay,
the
sir. Second, the same person had another question, which was why Krishna patient was prescribed argentum nitricum. He
yes.
couldn't understand.
Okay. The understanding of that was कि the whole story, the whole theme of the patient that was revolving around Krishna and Krishna. So मुझे भी ये देखना था कि कृष्णा का मतलब क्या है पेशेंट के नजरिए में. Means everybody of us are seeing this world with our own sense of perception. So what was happening was कि the perception of that person, how he was seeing Krishna was, I asked him, what is the definition of Krishna? Who is Krishna? His answer was, Krishna is the greatest wrestler I have ever seen in this world. So what is a wrestler? आज तक मैंने अपनी लाइफ के अंदर ये नहीं सुना कि कृष्णा एक रेसलर था. That was the first time I heard from that patient. So for me, it need to be understand कि अब wrestler क्या होता है. क्योंकि कृष्णा वॉज अ रेसलर. अब रेसलर की भी उसकी जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग, जो परसेप्शन होगी, दैट कुड बी ऑल्सो डिफरेंट. So wrestler, according to that patient, was, he said कि wrestler is a person who has a solution to every problem, who has a technique, who has a skill, so that he can overcome any kind of a situation. So this invention, this research, this skill, see this doing technique, this going out to find a solution is a very very strong theme of fifth row. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट, जो इन्होंने एग्जांपल दिया कृष्णा ने, जो रेसलर का बताया कि कृष्णा ने कोई भी हथियार ना उठा के महाभारत जीत ली. कैसे जीती? बाय स्ट्रेटजी, बाय डूइंग सम डिफरेंट थिंग्स जो किसी ने ना किया हो. इट वाज आउट ऑफ रूटीन करके एक स्ट्रेटजी बना के वो किया. सो ऑन दिस बेसिस, एंड ही वाज एबल टू डू दैट. So that is why I prescribed argentum nitricum to that patient.
Okay, sir, thanks. One more question was there. In the case of schizophrenia, the symptoms can be taken as rubric delusions. Why is
Yeah,
it taken as threat? Matlab, how can we,
essentially,
the person wants to know how can we differentiate between delusions and threat?
yeah. I tried to study all the delusions, but first I took delusion, conspiracies, delusion, threat. I did not came to a single remedy. And how delusion are expressed. For example, if we study delusions of cupromet, you can see delusion of cuprum. Let me show you. Let me share my screen. Hmm. So my screen is visible.
Yes.
Huh. So you have delusions of cupromet. Now, just look. Delusion being that she is persecuted, delusion being pursued by enemies, right? Then again, ghost spirit sees, delusion, robbers robbing. All the rubric or the delusions are again, we have cuprum. Can you see that? All, and then delusion, he is going to be attacked. Then delusion, he is going to be attacked, defends himself against attacks and insults. Again, it's cuprum. So with rubrics also, I'm coming to cuprum, and to the thematic wise, through the story, also I was coming up with cuprum. So the cuprum was a very very strong option for me to prescribe for that patient. So instead of giving cuprum metallicum, I prescribed this cuprum aceticum. Why aceticum? Because aceticum, according to me, has a very very strong themes of attack and danger from the outside world. That's the theme of aceticum. If you read this hydrocarbons by Morrison, he has given the theme of aceticum like this. So I prescribed cuprum aceticum. So from the rubrics, cuprum was coming, and from the story, from the theme of the patient, again cuprum was coming. So again I combined both the things. I came up with the remedy cuprum aceticum, and he improved with that. So it's not like I didn't take the rubrics. I took the rubrics, I took the delusion. I hope it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. One more question is there. Can a person belong to two different rows at different times of her life, or can a person shift from one row to another?
Yes, definitely. My case, this the case of aurum muriaticum, that showed the two different rows, issues of two different rows. That case was showing issues of third row, the natrum row, and the issues of sixth row. The issues of sixth row was responsibility, and the issues of third row was taking care of the family. I combine both the things. Ki a patient is responsibly trying to take care of her family. So this was the issues of these rows. And again, patient may shift from one row to the other depending upon the circumstances or the situation that the patient experiences in his life. This is my answer. I hope it's clear.
Yes, sir. Sir, somebody also wanted to ask if a plant remedy, this was a previous question, which came for the first or second case. If plant remedy is indicated in a case with the same story, how can one differentiate between the plant kingdom and
Yes,
the mineral kingdom?
yes, definitely. We can differentiate it also because even plants have the same theme like minerals. But in order to understand that in plants, so I'm not going into the detail of that because it's a whole uh, different concept about the plants, which again show the different stories like I've told in the this minerals. Plants have the issue of sensitivity and reactivity, whereas minerals have the issues of capability from inside. So plants के अंदर जब हम देखेंगे, it's a whole concept of consciousness. For example, if my consciousness is totally on the outside world, which means कि I can experience the outside world, and from the outside world something is happening within me and I am getting disturbed. That needs a plant. But in the minerals, the whole consciousness is in their own being. Means, am I capable of doing that? Am I capable of doing that or not? This is the basic difference between plant and minerals. Basic minerals, they talk about capability, they talk about development issues, they talk about structure, they talk about uh, things need to be done this way or that way. But within plants, it's all about sensitivity and reactivity. Something is happening outside which troubles me, and I am getting disturbed by that thing. So this is the basic difference between plants and minerals.
Thank you, sir. If there is one more query, if person can change from one row to another, how can we decide the constitution of the patient?
See, Uh, the answer to this question is if we study the authors, like for example, if we study relationship of remedies, or if we study about the uh, layers of remedies. For example, I quote the 171 aphorism of the Organon of Medicine, where it states that in order to treat chronic disease, we need series of antisodics in quick succession, one after the other, right? We, it's not like the thing which is written in the organ that there is only one constitution remedy which remains throughout the patient life. No, it's not true, and I have not read it anywhere in my this apart from modern authors. But through the organon, we need to change the remedy. For example, if a remedy is similar to one state, and if the remedy is given, it's a proper similarm, that state has to be abolished ना. अगर वो स्टेट चले जाएगी, जाने के बाद कुछ ना कुछ सरफे पे जरूर आएगा. तो इट्स नॉट लाइक अगर एक रेमेडी वर्क किया तो वो पूरी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल रेमेडी सारी उम्र उसकी रहेगी. इट्स नॉट ट्रू. अगर रेमेडी सिमिलर है तो जिस स्टेट पे आपने रेमेडी दी है वो स्टेट डिसॉल्व होनी जरूरी है. जब वो स्टेट डिसॉल्व होगी, डिसॉल्व होने के बाद एक नई स्टेट सामने आएगी. दिस इज द आइडिया ऑफ रिलेशनशिप ऑफ रेमेडीज. दिस इज द आइडिया ऑफ कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री रेमेडी. दिस इज द आइडिया व्हिच हैनेमन इज टॉकिंग अबाउट इन 171 aphorism of the organon. We need not find that there is only a one remedy that will cure all the patient. No, it's not true. And even if we study our own states, we are not like we were in childhood. आज जो हमारी नेचर है, जो हमारा बिहेवियर है, इट्स नॉट लाइक जो हमारा बचपन में था. We are keep on changing depending upon the situation, depending upon the circumstances. So that is why at the same time our remedies needs to be changed. It's not like कि अगर एक रो से वो किसी और रो में जाएगा, एक रो से पेशेंट किसी भी स्टेट में जा सकता है. वो मिनरल्स के साथ प्लांट में जा सकता है, वो एनिमल में जा सकता है, वो किसी नसोड़ में जा सकता है. So we don't know what is beneath that. We will only come to know about that is कि जैसे ही वो लेयर एक हटेगी, जब हमने एक सिमिलर रेमेडी प्रिस्क्राइब करी है, वो सिमिलर रेमेडी प्रिस्क्राइब करने के बाद एक नई लेयर सामने आएगी. जैसी वो लेयर सामने आएगी, अगेन वी हैव टू प्रिस्क्राइब दैट. सो दैट इज हैनेमन इज नॉट सेज in the first aphorism that the mission of physician is to restore the sick to health. It's the restoration. It's not the cure कि एक रेमेडी ठीक कर दिया, आपकी सारी उम्र वो एक रेमेडी चलती रहेगी. It's not true. आपकी स्टेट, आपको स्टेट ट्रीट करनी पड़ेगी. एक स्टेट, दूसरी स्टेट, तीसरी स्टेट. This is exactly given in 171 aphorism of organon.
Thank you, sir. I think there are more queries. You just type your mail ID in the email
Yeah,
in the chat
definitely.
box. so that people can ask you.
Right. Okay. Okay.
They want differentiation of Brinia with fourth row. One more question is there, just saying, uh, where can lac humanum be placed in the periodic table?
And this is this seminar about minerals. So if I will be
Yeah.
talking about Lachimanam, that will be whole
So
together a
so that
different concept on
yes, sir.
foods and
That
classes.
queries can be solved in
Yes,
person. So please
definitely.
type your
Definitely.
mail ID so that
I typed
everybody
my
can.
the Yeah, I'm also typing my phone number. If they wish to message me in my WhatsApp, they can also do that.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir.
So that's all for today.
Yes, Dr. Harpreet sir, thank you
Thank
so much for this wonderful session.
So thank you
And
so much for inviting me here. Thank you so much.
we feel very privileged, and but the kind of information you shared today, I feel many of the doctors and students get very much clear in aspect of the elements and the periodic table. And you beautifully shown to them that if in case you have the proper knowledge of each element, how you can properly employ it in your practice and how wonderful results you can achieve in your practice through that knowledge. So I
Yeah,
am very much feel very proud to be the part of this webinar, and I definitely feel along with me that many of the students and doctors will be get clear concept in this aspect. And in nearby future also, I request you to just be available in order to guide us further in this way. And
definitely, definitely. My pleasure. My pleasure.
yeah, Dr. Ashika, you want to conclude something, please guide the audience. And I believe the question answer sessions is already done. If in case you
Yeah.
have any update or any further notifications in aspect for the upcoming webinars, or you want to guide the audience, please update them.
Sure. First of all, though, on behalf of the whole team of 360 as well as BGN Group, I would like to thank personally to Dr. Harpreet for taking out your valuable time and guide students on such a innovative topic, that is periodic table. Because everybody is like me in person also has have read periodic table and from John Sholton, and but this explanation was so good with case studies with practical application that I could grasp so many things from the session that could help me, that will surely help me in my practice. My heartful thanks also goes to all our learners, not just those who have been with us, but also who have been there listening so patiently. Before I sign off today, uh, I a very important vote of thanks must go out to the people who are behind our team Homeopathy 360. Yes, it's Team 360 that works in day in and out to bring you information related to homeopathy and make you updated. And right, we have recently started these webinars. Tomorrow also we are having a webinar of Dr. Ashish Mehta and Dr. Hitarth Mehta on the application of homeopathy in allergies. And you can also visit, I'll just type the link where you can visit and register for the webinar in the chat box. Thank you everyone, stay connected with us and keep participating likewise. Thank you so much. We'll also try to share a recorded version if possible on our Homeopathy 360 YouTube channel. We would love to hear from you. For any queries, you can mail us to webinar@homeopathy360.com. Thank you for taking out time today and being here today. I'll just type the registration link where you can register for the tomorrow's webinar on allergies and asthma with homeopathy.
Yes.
Anything you want to say, Dr. Rajesh?
Yeah. Dr. Yashika, thank you so much. And now let's conclude the webinar. I again share my vote of thanks to Dr. Harpreet Singh for having such a beautiful webinar and clear the concepts of students and doctors. I definitely feel that the audience will enjoy this webinar. And likewise, we come up with other webinars as Dr. Yashika already announced that tomorrow we have the webinar. So, dear doctors and students, kindly follow the link for the registration, and we will be meet you tomorrow with new personality with new topic, with new experiences. For the time being, I just thank you, Dr. Harpreet, Dr. Yashika, and whole team for having this session, and to you, lovely audience, for participating in this webinar. So with this, let us conclude the webinar. Thank you so much.